Happy Monday. Happy Juneteenth. Happy 20th day of June. Welcome to the Be Your Own Hero Show. Hero is an acronym. It means helping everyone reach optimism. In other words, helping others helps you. And I'm your host. I'm sekouwrites. I'm a professional creative and creator of what we're now calling the Hero Ministry Movement. Okay, so I think that's going to be it for intro today. Short intro because I got so much to talk about that I feel like I'm going to run out of time. So we're just going to get right into it right now. All right, episode 30 of season 4. Okay, so today is day 385 of my run streak of, let me get my branding right, of the Sekou Hero Charity Run. By the way, first of not too many sidebars, the reason I call it Sekou Hero Charity Run is because there is another Hero Charity Run. Matter of fact, there's several. But the one that I'm thinking about is the one where everyone dresses in a costume and runs. So I'm trying not to be confused with that Hero Charity Run. So Sekou Hero Charity Run. Anyway, that's why. Okay, so today is day 385. And I'm going to play today's run report because it's amazing to me. It's amazing to me. And I hope you will find it amazing too. And you'll find out what I mean by it's amazing in just a second. So let me just press play. Hero Charity Run, day 385. I've been running every day, at least a mile a day for now, 385 consecutive days in a row. And we're still on mission, raising money for Back on My Feet nonprofit this month, my birthday month, my triple anniversary month, birthday, anniversary of the charity run, and anniversary of my show, the Be Your Own Hero Show. So triple anniversary month, please make a donation at herocharityrun.com, herocharityrun.com. That said, I'm amazed. This morning I ran 10 miles with Antoine, much to my chagrin. We ran 10 miles, but I can't believe that I completed 10 miles and I still have time to prepare for the show, which means all those other days that I said I didn't have time to run more than a mile before the show means that was not true. That was not true. That was just another excuse my mind gave me that was plausible that I believed. Be careful. Your mind is tricky. You got to watch it. All right, later. Hero Charity Run, day 385. I've been... Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to show you. Again, as I said in that video, there have been so many days, so many times where I've said, oh, I can't run very far because I got to get ready for the show. I can only do a mile. I can only do 2 miles. I got to cut this short. I ran 10 miles this morning. 10 miles. First of all, I ran 10 miles this morning. So amen to that. That's a testimony right there. But I ran 10 miles and still had time to do the things that I do to get ready for the show, which means, and I started running at the same time I usually start running. I didn't start any earlier. And the whole time I was like, yo, man, I'm gonna peel off. I'm gonna peel off and go get ready for the show. He was like, yeah, all right, go ahead. Then I'd be like, well, let me run a little further, right? And I kept doing that. And I kept looking at my watch and I was like, yeah, I should probably go get ready for the show. But let me just hang in there. What if I hang in there? What if I don't quit? What if I hang in there? So I made it all the way to 10 miles. And here I am doing the show like I ran 1 mile. So that is really amazing to me. And as I said in the run report, you really do have to question the things that you tell yourself. You can't trust the things you tell yourself. You have to question the things that you tell yourself to make sure they're true. Because I can't tell you how many times I've said, oh, I can't do more than 2 miles because I have to get ready for the show. But today I did 10 and I'm still ready for the show. All right, moving on. Another fun thing that happened during the run is we ran into somebody. So Antoine and I were running one way and we ran into Marcus, who was running the other way. Marcus is also for Black Men Run. So that's me up front, obviously, and then there's Antoine in the green shorts, and that's Marcus in the red shirt. So Antoine and I are running one way, and we were like, oh, yo, there's Marcus running the other way. So we stopped and got this quick picture. it was pretty funny that we all ran into each other. We were very excited. And so Black Men Run is out doing things. Now, both of these guys are iconic within Black Men Run. Antoine, as you know, has been running for 1,380 something days. I mentioned that before. And Marcus lost, I want to say 260 pounds by running. Like, he showed me his before picture, and it doesn't even look like the same person. He looks like they might be related, but not even close to the same person. So it's kind of cool hanging out with these two epic dudes this morning for a second to get a picture. So that's something else that happened today. Okay, moving on, because there's still a lot of ground to cover. Let's see. Oh, I wanted to show you this. This is kind of random, but we were running along the Cumberland River. I think that's right, the Cumberland River. And all of a sudden, we ran across goats. Apparently, there are people that rent out goats to take care of the land. And so this is it. I'm just going to play a little snippet of it. This is the view. So quick snippet. Wow, though, right? There's just goats out there. Okay, so that's enough for today's run. You get the gist. I was shocked that I did so much, and then so many things happened. We ran into Marcus, saw some goats. It's been an interesting morning, and I still was able to get ready for the show. Okay, so fun, interesting weekend. It's Juneteenth weekend, Father's Day weekend. Shout out to all the fathers. Shout out to people playing a father role. Shout out to all the people celebrating Juneteenth. And I just wanted to share with you two things that happened for me over the weekend. So, which first? I guess first, I mentioned this before, but Antoine's wife, Yolanda, has a podcast, and she interviewed me again for her podcast. So, well, that's not true. That's not accurate. She interviewed me the first time as part of her birthday gift to her husband, Antoine. She wanted to interview people who he has influenced, and I'm certainly one of those people. It was a great birthday gift. The podcast ended up being an hour long. It was interviews with me, other men from Black Men Run, other men I've never even heard of or met before, and it was a great gift. It's literally the only thing I listened to when I ran the half marathon because it was that long. So it was longer than an hour, maybe like 2 hours. So that's the only thing I listened to. And it took me throughout the whole half marathon. So anyway, it's a great listen. Check it out, check it out, check it out. And then also, she invited me to do my first stream. That's not quite right. What's the name of the platform? You know what? Here's the photo. It'll tell me. Clubhouse, my first Clubhouse down there at the bottom. So Clubhouse is another social media app. This one revolves around talking, like basically podcasting. That's Yolanda, Antoine's wife right there. Her brand is called Yo Fit. And the show is called Diamond Cuts. And I was the guest. And it was a really good interview. It was an hour long or so. It was very good. She did a lot of research about me, which was very embarrassing. She found all kinds of things that I've done in the past and talked about them. And I'm mentioning all of this because the link is still live. I thought that you had to listen right then, and I guess you could listen right then, but the link is still live. You can still hear the interview. It's up. I've posted it on social media, so just go to my Facebook or my Instagram and you'll see it, and you can listen to the whole interview. Very interesting stuff. It was a really good interview. She did a great job, so please check it out. And also, I did another interview this weekend. Yes, this weekend. I was interviewed by my friend Demetrius Short, who is the captain of Black Men Run Nashville. You've heard me mention him before too if you've been watching the show. Again, he's the captain of Black Men Run Nashville. He's also the founder of his own nonprofit. He also created the Brown Boys Read program, which we donated to. We, the Hero Nation, donated to. We donated $1,000 to that project. And so he and I did this interview where we announced the fact that I am going to be a brand ambassador for his charity run. His charity run is a 5K. It's in its 12th year, I believe. It happens in September. I've never been in it physically. I've run in it virtually while I was in other places. But this year, I'm going to be one of the brand ambassadors. So I'm going to help promote his race and also be in it physically. And so we did an interview together, and here's us behind the scenes of this interview. And we just had a conversation about how he got into running and how I got into running and how our paths crossed. And it was really cool. So he's got all the footage. I'm not sure when and how he's going to distribute it, but it was a very cool experience. And it was great to have come full circle because, as I've told you many times before, if you've been watching the show, the first day I showed up for Black Men Run, it was a travesty. It was embarrassing. I was hiding behind cars. I was sitting on stoops. Like I couldn't even finish the route. It was terrible. And so to have come from that all the way to where we are now, where the captain of the local chapter is interviewing me. And I got a shout out from the national founder, the CEO founder of Black Men Run nationally. He gave me a shout out too for the work that I've done for Black Men Run and Brown Boys Read and being on the news recently. So a lot of exciting things going on. But a really good full circle moment for me. Okay, so that's that. And is that it for show and tell? Nope, not quite yet. I still got one more show and tell. So I've told you about my travel to Idaho to meet with Kahila. This company that I'm working with. And I mentioned that I inspired someone in that group to start exercising. And so she gave me permission to use her name and show her. So this is her. She's been doing run reports like me. So I've influenced her in so many different small ways. She's doing run reports. She's moving every day. And I'm giving her lots of tips and advice. And let me just say this. In my 385 days of doing this, lots of people have asked me for advice. Like it just happens. Even before the 385 days, people started asking me, and especially during this period, lots of people have asked me for tips and how-tos and all that. And so I feel like I've had some experience giving people advice. And of all the people I've given advice to, this woman, her name is Shalini, is the one who's really just tearing it up. Like she's showing up, she's showing out, as she says, and she's just really taking it in and utilizing it. Usually I'll give someone some advice, like they're like, okay, I received that. And then they'll remix it and do their own thing. And maybe it doesn't turn out as well. But I've been down this road a bit for a while. I've run into all the excuses that you can run into. And so I have a body of knowledge about how to deal with them. And so I just want to give Shalini a shout out for really just doing the work and showing up and taking my advice. So anyway, here she is in her own words, doing her own run report. Meet Shalini.
Happy day 15. Man, today's actually been a good day. I seen my aunt after 2 weeks, and she straight up said to me, "It looks like you lost some weight, and your face looks slimmer." So, even though I haven't checked the scale to see if I've lost like maybe a pound or two, there's definitely some difference because my aunt noticed it, and she seen me almost 2 weeks ago before I started this. So, happy day 15, y'all, and happy Saturday. Woo woo.
Okay, that's it. that's Shalini's run report. She's been doing those pretty consistently. And yeah, I immediately reached out to her and say, don't check the scale. Don't check the scale. One of the things that will get you in trouble is paying attention to the wrong metric. So the advice I gave to her, and I'll share it just in case it applies to anyone, is don't check the scale. Don't make your metric number of pounds lost. That's a setup. That's going to disappoint you, and it's going to set you back. What you focus on is number of days moved, number of days that you showed up for yourself consistently every day. You measure that. And what she's doing, just so you know, is she's walking one block. That's it. She's walking one block every day. One block every day. One block every day. And I told her, just keep it small. keep it very small, because she was walking more than that in the beginning, and I was like, nope, pull back, because you want your daily goal to be so small that it's easier to hit. Because you just want to build the habit. You can improve the habit later, but you have to build the habit first. Keep it small and make that your metric. I showed up for myself. I showed up for myself again. I showed up for myself again. So anyway, shout out to Shalini. She's doing a great job, and I'm grateful that I have wisdom to give because I've been down this path. Okay, I think that might finally be all for show and tell today. As you see, I had a lot of show and tell. So we're going to call that the end of Hero Ministry Movement News. And just a reminder that this is my triple anniversary. It is my birthday month. It is the anniversary of the charity run, and it is the anniversary of this show, the Be Your Own Hero show. So I'm going to drop myself some fireworks. Okay, I can't tell if the fireworks are working. It's not working on my end, but hopefully you were able to see them. Anyway, let's move on to the Dice Roll Challenge. Dice Roll Challenge, Monday, first day of the week. 1, easy day, easy day. No one has an excuse for not taking $1 out of circulation and moving it over. And don't think that because it's too small that you're not going to do it. That's the whole point. The whole point is you move it because it's so small, because you won't feel it. So move that dollar over, take it out of your checking, move it into a place where you can set it aside to invest. Make sure you get your A. So C, getting a C is saving the money. And I know we got a lot of smart people on here that don't want to hear about getting a C. So don't just save the money. You get a B for setting it aside, right? You want an A, you have to invest it. So you get a C for saving, B for setting it aside, A for actually investing it. Okay, moving on. Let's get into morning Zen. All right, so my recent trend of reading financial books in the morning has persisted. I don't know what's going on, but I think it's because the information in the financial books aligns so easily with the information in the personal development books. But that said, I am still reading. Let me get the book cover. Oh, I don't have the book cover up. All right. Well, I'm still reading about investing in a bear market. I wanted to show you the book cover. Bear market investing strategies. Bear market investing strategies. Can you see that? Yeah. Bear market investing strategies, 37 recession-proof ideas to grow your wealth. So that was my morning reading today and over the weekend. And I am responding to Nan's question from Friday. I didn't see her question until after the show wrap. There were 2 questions actually that I want to respond to. And I think responding to those 2 questions will take us through the whole week. So Nan was asking, what about Bitcoin? Like, why am I not saving Bitcoin? So we're going to talk about that. And the other question, you know what, let me not mention the other question yet. Let's just stick with this. Okay, so what's going on with Bitcoin? As you know, I was talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency last week and saying that I'm making some moves. And as we get into that, let me just check the chat and say what's up to folks. Shout out to Linda, shout out to Simone, shout out to Tim, shout out to Gladys. Okay, so hopefully Nan will catch this later. But here's the deal. I don't remember exactly how Nan phrased it, but it was basically like, don't you want to hold on to the Bitcoin because it might turn around? So I spent a lot of time going down some rabbit holes this weekend related to that. Separate, but related. So I want to do the separate but related part first. So get ready to participate. You're going to put a Y or an N in. This is a yes or no question. Yes or no question. Do you know what the Fed is? Do you know what the Fed is? Yes or no? And just to help you out, recently Biden gave a speech where he said that he's going to let the Fed take care of thus and so and so. So, do you know what the Fed is? Let me see some some Y's and N's in the chat, so I see where we are. Okay, I like this, Linda. Linda said B plus. Set aside and some invested. Got to admit the bear market scares you. Yeah, so we're about to talk about the bear market in a bit. So Gladys says no. She doesn't know what the Fed is, and don't feel any kind of way. I did not know what the Fed was until this weekend. Okay, so Biden said that he's going to let the Fed deal with the inflation. I just wanted to make sure I got it right. He's going to let the Fed deal with inflation. That sounds like an innocuous statement, right? Sounds very innocuous. I'm going to let the Fed deal with that. The Fed is short for the Federal Reserve System. The Federal Reserve System is the central banking system of the United States. It was created in 1913 and blah, 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 blah. Central monetary system. So basically, it's the central banking system of the United States. So Biden is saying he's going to let the Fed, which is short for the Federal Reserve System, deal with inflation. Okay, let me tell you why that's not an innocuous statement. And I just learned this weekend. And I am horrified that I just learned this weekend. So the reason that I don't consider it innocuous is because the Fed's goal is to control inflation, right? That's their goal, to control inflation. Do you know what they consider controlling inflation is? Keeping it to 2%. What? Keeping it to 2%. What are we talking? Not zero, not one, not eliminated, just keeping it confined to 2%. I was horrified. I had to go check other sources to make sure I was hearing it right. And everyone I was listening to was saying, yeah, 2%, 2%. Like, it's casual, it's known. Their goal is to limit inflation to 2%. Why does that alarm me so much? Because it means unless you are investing actively at a rate that gives you a rate of return on investment of more than 2%, you're always underwater. Always underwater, because the Fed has accepted 2% as the rate of inflation. That's not all. Their acceptable range is 2 to 5%. What? Yeah, that's the acceptable range for inflation, 2 to 5%. They don't worry about it until it's over 6%. Then they start worrying about it. Then they're like, oh, well, we got to get it under control. We got to get it back down to 2. What? Back down to 2. It's currently at 8.6. So now they're worried about it, which is why Biden said, I'm going to let the Fed deal with it. The Fed is only going to try to get it back down to 2. That's their goal. So remixing what I just said, unless you are investing, unless you're getting a rate of return of more than, let's just call it 10%, you're underwater. Your money is diluting itself continuously. It's like it may say $1,000 in your bank account, but it's being watered down by inflation constantly at a rate of 2 to 8%. It's just mind-boggling to me. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is, or maybe this is the third thing. There's just so many things in my head that just blew my mind. This really bugged me out. So the Fed is responsible for bringing the rate of inflation back down to 2%, which I still can't get over. But not only that, combating inflation typically creates a recession. Yeah, you heard that right. You heard that right, because I didn't think I heard it right either. Combating inflation typically creates a recession. Like, for some reason, combating inflation does not also combat a recession. Combating inflation creates the recession. So Biden saying, I'm going to turn it over to the Fed is very scary, because that means we're over 6%, which is their worry point. They're going to try to get it down to 2%, which is still high. And in the process of trying to fight inflation, they're likely going to trigger a recession. And this is the Federal Reserve System. This is like, This is the folks who are supposed to be on our side. I don't know. That just took me out. That just took me out this weekend. So I've got a couple takeaways, two main takeaways. Number one, we all need to be studying. Like, seriously, I've said this before, but now I'm really saying this strongly. You've got to take some time out of your day, not just this show, but out of your day and study finance, study money. Like, I am sure that there are other people watching the show that just found out for the first time what the Fed is and the fact that 2 to 6% is acceptable for inflation. I can't be the only one that just found that out. But we should know these things because they affect how we move financially. The first thing, I've had a lot of first things in this show today, but bear with me. An important thing is to invest at a rate of return that's higher than, I mean, let's just say 10%. Because again, like 2, 6, 8, all that in there is 2 to 6% is acceptable. So that means you have to be getting a rate of return higher than that just to keep your money where it is. Not even to make money, just to keep it where it is. Just to keep your $1,000 worth $1,000, you have to have that money invested at a rate of return of at least 6%. So might as well shoot for 10. Then you can make a little money. Otherwise, you're underwater, right? So my two big points here, before I get too distracted, my two big points here are learn. Start studying this stuff, because I just happened to luck into it because you guys asked me some questions. But we need to all be studying it. And two, invest. So Linda, I know you just said you're scared, but this to me seems scarier. Like, if we just leave our money where it is in a savings account, it's losing money rapidly. So there's no way to win in that scenario. The only way to win is to have it invested at a rate of return higher than the rate of inflation. That's big stuff. So anyway, how I'm bringing this full circle back to Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, which is what Nan asked about, is what do we know? What do we know? Because it really comes down to knowing if you're trying to beat inflation and you know that the Fed has an acceptable inflation rate of 2 to 6%, so you know you really got to beat 2 to 6%, then you need to know. You can't guess. And even though I feel in my spirit like cryptocurrency and Bitcoin is going to win, I have to ask myself, what do I know? Do I know it's going to win? No, I don't know. I feel like it is. I think it is. There's lots of anecdotal evidence that it may win, but I don't know. There's no like historical record, like in the case of the S&P 500. It's been around for a long time. It has performed well. It typically performs at a rate of 10% per year. So there's your 10% right there. Put your money in an index fund. Put it in the S&P 500 and leave it there for many years. And that's your knowing. That's your safest bet. And yes, previous performance does not necessarily indicate future results. That's the disclaimer. But time and time again, through all the depressions that we know about, the S&P 500 and the other vetted properties like the Dow and the NASDAQ have taken a hit, but they've kept on trucking and gotten higher and higher. So I've already run out my time for today's episode because I got all worked up about the Fed. But my point here is cryptocurrency is not a place where I know what's going to happen. And if I need to make sure I beat the inflation that is accepted by the Fed, I need to know. And what I know is index funds. Index funds are tried and true. So I feel like I'm going to be talking about this all week because I learned so much about the Fed this weekend that alarmed me. I'm going to keep talking about that. And I want to answer the other really important questions that I got asked last week also. So that said, keep doing. And in this case, doing means studying. Don't just let this show be enough. It's time for all of us to get educated about the bear market, deep bear market, the Fed, inflation, all of it. So keep doing, be a hero, be your own financial hero, And remember that now is better than perfect in all things, but especially in terms of investing. And I'll see you tomorrow.